Now, for the first time somebody said, what's the government going to do about it, is when all that began. That began before the turn of the century, a long time ago. Welfare programs increased. Here's the problem. Taxes go up and go up and go up and go up. And what do you get if you're a congressman? You get phone calls, you get letters, you get telegrams. Don't tax us anymore. I'm not voting for you anymore if you keep going up on taxes. So congressmen are saying, look, we've gone up on taxes so much to run these programs, I'm afraid to vote for any more. But they keep voting for the programs anyway. But they don't vote for the tax increase that has to go with it. So what does that create? Deficit spending. The government is now, on purpose, spending more money than it's bringing in. And they know they are. Well, the money has to come from somewhere. So where's it come from? We start borrowing huge amounts of money from Americans. Now, we've done that before. We've had bond programs, World War I, bond programs, World War II. We've had programs that were floated out there for internal improvements. The difference is those were necessities. We had to fight those wars to maintain freedom. We had to build up an infrastructure which aids business and has long-term positive effects. Now we're borrowing millions and millions and millions of dollars which will never come back. And we're just giving that money away in welfare programs. Don't do that. Don't do that. We tell you as an individual, don't go into debt. Debt's the number one cause of divorce in America. Don't go into debt. Stay out of debt. If you've got a credit card, cut it up and throw it in the trash can. Do not go into debt. Average American has $10,000 in credit card debt. Don't ever let that happen to you. Eat supper on an orange crate, but don't go into debt. You'll be a much happier person. Just don't do it. Listen, I have to buy a house. That's different. Usually the house appreciates in value. You see, a house as an investment, not necessarily debt. I bought my house about 15, 16 years ago. My house is worth a lot more today than it was when I bought it. So that's not necessarily debt. So what about a car? You rascal, you don't have to have a brand new $35,000 big tires car. Don't go into debt for anything that depreciates. Just don't. Save some money. My first car was the most beat up piece of trash. You wouldn't even get in it. It was a Volkswagen. I have nothing against Volkswagen. Very fine automobile. This one was about 15 years old and was trash. And I bought it for about $300 cash. And my wife and I used that car right through college and even after college. It was sideswiped one night out in front of our apartment building, and both bumpers caved in, red paint right down the side of the car. It was lovely. Looked like a great big racing stripe. We referred to our car from that point on as a demolition derby. It looked like it had been in one. My wife backed it into a pole. Keep in mind, a Volkswagen has the engine in the back. We couldn't open the back. The fender had been smashed into, and we didn't change the oil about the last year we had that car. Couldn't get to it. It was a mess. Last time I drove it 85 miles with no brakes. No brakes. Didn't have brake one on that car. Driving down through the country trying to get to South Central Virginia. And the roads go like this. So it was a harrowing drive because you don't know what's over the hill. And I'm doing about 35 or 40, and if something happened to be there, you would downshift and grab the emergency brake and pump. Slow down, 85 miles, no brakes. Parked it, never got back in it again. But I wasn't in debt. Could have been dead, but I wasn't in debt. Don't ever go into debt on purpose. Don't live a deficit. And our government just decided one day we're going to live in deficits, and we're in the mess we're in today because of that. Something else happens here.